Hi everyone, Shirtlad here. The Gundam Assault Survive roster overview is back due to popular demand. Admittedly, this is going to be another section of the roster I'm going to cover before eventually going back to my previous parts, retroactively fixing my errors, most of which pertaining to a translation mistake in regards to the thruster attributes that I did early on during my documentation of the game. Anyways, that aside, two of the more requested roster portions were Gryps War-era Titans and Double Zeta's Axis Zeon forces. Understandably so, considering the lineups of either faction. Today, however, I'll be going over the former's 23-unit roster. I'll get right to it, so if you're new to the terminology, just open the Earth Federation 0079 roster overview on another tab and skim the intro. Just like the Zeta show proper, we're kicking this one off with a Black Gundam. The Gundam Mark II Titans, in fact. Like its AUG counterpart, it's a B rank that comes with a beam saber for melee, the usual beam rifle and bazooka primaries, alongside the shield-mounted missiles, courtesy of the compilation movies. As is usually the case, the secondary weapon slot is taken up by the Vulcans. The super attack, unlike with the AUG Mark II, is a ranged one. To get this one, you're gonna need to clear the second Titans 087 stage, with the price tag for it coming down to 400,000. The Gem 2, in Federation colors on the other hand, is nearly a carbon copy of its AUG version. It's got the same Shield Bash Super, the same Beam Saber melee, as well as the Byarlant secondary. Ditto for the beam rifle and the hyper bazooka primaries. Outside of minute stat differences, there isn't much of a difference between the two. D rank. Can be bought right away for 56,000. Next is the Hizack in Titans colors, with this Mono-Eye Mook being a C rank. It's got a Zaku machine gun Kai and Marasai's BR-87A beam rifle as its primaries. For melee, it's packing a Heat Hawk, with missiles being its secondary weapon. You get this one for free from the very start. The super attack for this one is a simple barrage, using its ranged weapons to rain projectiles on the enemy. Doing 3 sorties with the standard green Hizack will unlock the machine's Earth Federation variant. The primaries and the secondaries stay the same. So does the ranged super attack. What's different about this one, aside from the color, is the melee slot being taken up by a beam saber. Another C rank. This one can be bought for 61,200. The last Hizack variant here is the Hizack Custom, which is a C rank unit, specializing in long-range engagements. Sporting a sniper beam launcher, it can snipe its foes, while its secondary weapon, the twin 3-2 missile pod, now fires in full auto. It gets a beam saber for melee, and for its super attack it shoots out a large, continuous beam from the beam launcher. As for how you unlock it, you have to use the Hizack 5 times and clear the 6th Titans 087 stage. The price tag for it is 72,800. Debuting in episode 11 of the Zeta Gundam anime and getting royally shat on by Shirako, the Zaku Canon Earth Federation Forces version is the token captured Zeon unit of the Titans roster, sharing the D-rank designation of its Zeon counterpart. Just like that one, it gets a Zaku machine gun and the 180mm cannon in its primary slots, a smoke discharger secondary, and bare-handed melee attacks. Where it diverges from its relative is the third primary weapon, being a 3-2 wrist-mounted missile launcher, which is very similar to the one carried by the Desert Zaku, on top of having a different super attack. Instead of mag dumping with the big guns and the cannon, it shoots out a stronger smoke round with more coverage. You can buy this one from the start for 56,000 in the shop. The Galbaldy Beta is another Titans machine you can get very early on, only requiring the completion of the first 087 stage and 67,200 out of your budget. What you do get for your trouble is a C-rank all-rounder mobile suit with serviceable mobility, a beam rifle, and shield missiles as its primary, and a beam saber for melee. It also comes with a head-mounted flare gun in the secondary slot, which is somewhat similar to the Gundam ground type's flare discharger in terms of utility. For its super attack, it points both its rifle and shield forward, rapidly firing projectiles from both. Once you clear the second stage, on the Titan's side, you can grab the Marasai. This one comes with 2 types of beam rifles. The standard issue one it gets in the show, and the longer Fedayeen rifle featured in both the compilation movies and the Unicorn OVA, a C rank. Notably, this one lacks the Vulcans of its anime counterpart, opting to deploy inflatable decoys as its secondary instead. They miss with enemy lock-on and explode on contact, which is pretty neat. As for the beam saber for melee, that does stay the same. Now, the super attack it has is a mean-hitting beam saber swing, much like the AUG's Mark II. You can get this one in the shop for 116,000. The first Shirako unit in the lineup is the Messala. It's a B rank that can hover and transform, so it's flight capable too. In terms of primary weapons, the Messala gets 2 beam cannons and shoulder-mounted missile launchers, both of which can be fired while moving, with melee attacks being composed of beam saber slashes and the occasional leg claw swipe. Also, it has 2 claw-mounted grenade launchers as its secondary. By the way, the animation for the shoulder missiles is hilarious, since it makes the unit seem like it's trying to mimic a chicken. Oh, and the super attack for this one is a hail of beams and missiles. To get it, clear the 5th Titans 087 stage, and grab it for 393,000 from the shop. Now for something a bit more donut-shaped. The Asshimar. Hovers, transforms, chucks grenades, and shoots beams. Rank-wise, it's a C. Across the board, it's a very bare-bones yet solid unit that pulverizes its opposition with its mighty punches. As its super attack, it becomes a donut and rams anything in the way at full speed. Once you beat the 3rd Titans 087 stage, you can see it in the shop, being priced at 124,000. The only downside to this one is that you can only sortie with it under gravity, so no space donut action for you. If you want Asshimar, but looking like a Gaplant, the Green Diver's Asshimar is exactly what you might be looking for. You can get it via its research plan, and its price tag comes down to 128,000. The main gun stays the same, the punch and the rank stay the same, ditto for the hovering and donut mode. Unlike the standard Asshimar, the one without the Adidas tracksuit looking bits, this one has a grenade launcher in place of the hand grenades, and its super attack lets you pummel nearby enemies in a similar fashion to Star Platinum. The Gaplant is a C-rank unit, much like the Asshimar, being flight capable thanks to its mobile armor mode and running a somewhat simple loadout. 2 beam rifles that double as beam sabers, both with good reach, on top of being able to shoot Flex Seal at the enemy for some reason as its secondary attack. Don't get me wrong though, with a bare bones loadout like that, I take what I can get as well. Another aspect in which it takes after the Asshimar is the super attack, being another transformation followed by a ramming move. To get it, sortie with the Asshimar twice, clear the 3rd Titans 087 stage, and drop 291,000 on it in the shop. This game's iteration of the Gapthley is rather interesting, being a B rank and coming at the price of 295,000 in the store. You can get it after 2 sorties with Jared Mesa and 5 sorties with the Marasai. The primaries are mostly what you'd expect. The Fedayeen rifle, the shoulder-mounted mega-particle cannon, though alongside the two, you also get a pair of scattering beam cannons. Like its GBO2 and SDG generation counterparts, it comes with a head-mounted Vulcan gun, this time as a secondary. Melee attacks involve the beam saber and are somewhat similar to the ones done by the Rigazi, oddly enough. And as its super attack, it fires the Fedayeen rifle at max output. Though much like the Gem Cannon 2's diff beam, you can actually steer it as you fire. For the Stingray cosplayers, the game features Yazan Gable's very own Hambrabi in all its B-rank glory. Fedayeen rifle? Check. A pair of armed beam cannons? Also check. It even has claws that flip out for melee and Sea Serpent in case you want to go full Raiden for Mortal Kombat on the enemy. On top of that, it can transform to be a menace in disguise as well. The super attack performs the spider web maneuver, deploying 3 Hambrabis that unleash a large electrified net, briefly stun-locking whoever's in the way. If you own the Gapthley, have 2 sorties with a Gaplant under your belt, and finish the 5th Titans 087 stage, the Hambrabi is all yours, providing you're willing to pay 399,000 for it. If something more mass-produced is your speed, the RMS 154 refined Barzam is here too. You heard me right, this C-rank grunt, despite being listed as just Barzam, takes more after the Sentinel iteration of the mobile suit, featuring a Hyper Bazooka and a beam rifle with an underslung grenade launcher. It gets a Vulcan pod as its secondary, beam sabers for melee, and much like the Titans Mark II, it fires all its ranged weapons for its super attack. To get it, use the Titans Mark II 5 times, and beat both the 7th Titans 087 stage, as well as the 6th AUG 087 stage. It's still gonna cost you 256,000 afterwards. The Byarlant takes to the skies as a C rank, and one of the few units in this game that can shoot glue at the enemy without having to stop as you fire. Unlocking it is fairly simple. You use the Asshimar 5 times, after which you drop 291,000 on it in the shop. Weapons-wise, it is very simple, with 2 beam guns, a beam saber, and a glue gun / birdlime launcher as a secondary. It hovers, and it is even capable of flight, although it's nowhere near as agile as some of its peers. The super attack for this one is a set of melee strikes as it flies forward. Average-ish across the board. Next up is the Gates Capa Baund Doc, which I'd consider a side grade to the vanilla Baund Doc. It's a B rank which gets unlocked once you beat the last stage of the Titans 087 campaign and own Paplimus Scirocco as a pilot. In terms of weapons, you get the same-ish beam rifle as the Baund Doc, but this time around it fires the long piercing beams that some long guns and cannons fire. Scatter Beam is the secondary weapon, naturally. But for close-range combat, it carries a beam saber unlike Rosamia's unit. It can transform, as is the Baund Doc Custom, although the super attack is more geared for melee range. Costs a total of 450,000. Then there's the standard Baund Doc, a solid unit with a relatively simple kit. One of Makoto Kobayashi's finest pieces. It's got more ammo for the beam rifle than the grey one, but the shots themselves are more akin to the standard beam shots. It carries a scattering megaparticle cannon as its secondary, and uses arm claws for melee. Also transforms. The special attack for this one is a barrage of beams, courtesy of its primary and secondary weapons. You can unlock it by running the Grey Baund Doc 3 times or using Jared Missa 5 times. It'll cost you 467,000. And yes, it's also a B rank. Shirako's second unit in the lineup, the Pallas Athene, is an A rank, which is obtained by using the Messala alongside Shirako or Requa 5 times. What you're getting for your time in 595,000 are 4 ranged weapons. Well, more than 4. Primary number 1 is a beam rifle shot and a grenade. Number 2 is a scatter beam, and the third one is a combination of a shield missile and another beam rifle shot. Oh, and the secondary launches all the large missiles on the back. The special attack fires each and every one of them, in case you felt like shooting as many projectiles at once as you can. To no one's surprise, it carries a beam saber for melee. Next is the Bolinoak Samahn, which is a B rank. Comes with a set of rapid-firing grenade launchers in the shoulders, a beam gun, and a beam tomahawk for melee. This tomahawk is additionally the secondary weapon for the unit. Yeah, it just chucks it at the enemy. As for the super attack, the Bolinoak Samahn chucks a more sizable beam tomahawk, like a boomerang, dealing solid amounts of damage. To unlock it, you're gonna need to clock in 5 sorties each with the Messala and the Pallas Athene with Shirako in the pilot seat. Its price tag comes down to 512,000. Doing 10 sorties total with the Messala, the Bolinoak, and Shirako, you can unlock the O. The PMX-03 is a fat, yellow A-rank mobile suit with a rather simple loadout, piloted in the show by the sleazebag from Jupiter. You get a beam rifle as a primary, and by pressing the secondary attack input, you can reload it instantly. The real highlight of the O is the melee, with the unit sporting 2 small arms that can carry additional beam sabers, which it uses to great effect. The unit's super attack is a simple yet hard-hitting beam saber swing. It'll cost you 924,000 should you decide to get it. The Psyco Gundam is one of the 2 transformable mobile armors that the Titans get access to. It is ground sortie only, but you're getting a lot of firepower with this one. Scatter beam in the chest and finger beam guns are the unit's primaries, while the head-mounted beam cannon is a secondary. It punches and kicks for melee, and despite being rather cumbersome, even when flying, it absolutely makes up for it in resilience, sporting a thick eye field against beam attacks. For its super attack, it just starts blasting its assorted beam weapons all over the place at a surprisingly hasty rate. To get it, clear the 3rd Titan stage and buy 4 Marasai as a pilot. This one's an S rank and costs a total of 1,536,000. As for the Psycho Gundam Mark II, it's another colossal S rank, which, unlike its predecessor, can sortie in space and gets unlocked by completing its research plan. In terms of ranged weapons, it features not only the head, torso, and finger-mounted beam weaponry, but also introduces a set of 20 megaparticle cannons situated all across its body. If you do a charge shot with that one, the Psycho Mark II uses its reflection bits to converge the beams towards your target. This is also one of the few units in the game that can swap between weapons when transformed. As for the melee, you get a rocket punch that comes with a huge beam saber on the business end, and while it's not the fastest melee attack around, it absolutely hits like a truck. The super attack, much like with the first Psycho Gundam, is composed of a beam barrage, though this time there's more beams. Speaking of things that hit like a truck, the price tag comes down to 1,638,000, and that's every Titans unit in this one. Well, not counting the new-to-size machines like the not counting the new-to-size machines from Sentinel like the Zaku and the Gundam Mark V. But in as far as AAD Sun goes, it is all of them. Oh, and here's a chart for the relevant research plans. With that, I shall be departing. So until next time, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And this has been the Shirt Lad, signing out.